bringing the ship this far. I heard you are the captain in the morning. And as usual, even when they're offering a buffet, the juicy part is always at the end. So the panel had to be positioned at the very end because this is the juicy part of the day. Makofi kwa Alex and team so far. Thank you. And before I even allow the panel to introduce themselves, I really want to say one thing. Sitting here the whole day, listening to everybody, I was just wondering, what if we swapped all these people today and they went to parliament? What kind of Kenya and Africa will we be creating? You know, the greatest minds are actually in these rooms. You know, you guys know what to do. You've done it. You're not just talking. You've done it. So Alex, thank you for allowing us to begin talking to each other, not at each other. And I hope these diaspora returnee forums will create not silos like we've been. Everyone is building something beautiful, but on their own, you are the blue band. You're bringing us together. And I'm telling you, we'll begin seeing diaspora banks, sports centers of NBA and Olympic level. And from this panel, I'm sure you will hear some of these great ideas emanating. So my name is Elijah Oenga, a returnee from the UK, came back in 2013, worked at Kabarak University, lectured in business school. I was also the procurement manager. I then started up my own consulting firm in strategy, which continues to run today. But some of the most exciting things I've been able to do, I started a special needs school called Heaven Cottage, later set up Rustic Heaven restaurants. I have one in Lavington and Rongai, and currently, very proud of Ubuntu Ecolodge. We've been able to transform an arid space into a beautiful ecosystem. And I'll be inviting all of you to come to Ubuntu, but in the meantime, follow us on our pages. So I'll start with my extreme left. That is me. Professor Mwenja is to my extreme right. Kindly do a quick introduction, everybody 30 seconds, before we have a very quick, juicy discussion. Brain drain or brain gain? Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. I'm really impressed that you guys stayed until this late. That's the love for Bwana Chamwanda. This is my second show. We did that last year with Mama. It was very nice, and we are very excited to be here. And this is really good. Now, where do I start? My journey starts way in California 35 years ago, San Diego, California. Went through academics, became a professor, was a vice chancellor or president of a university for 10 years. And then about 13 years ago, just like my brother there, I decided it's time for me to come back. Exactly 2013, 2014. Since then, I've done quite a few things. I did consulting. I was the CEO at Mater Hospital. Now I've been the chairman of the Central Bank of Kenya Pension Fund. And we like to pride ourselves that we are the best managed pension fund in Eastern Central Africa. Based on that, there are other things that I'm starting right now, which is major consultancies in wealth creation, combined with ESG and SDGs, so that we do not only take care of our environment and our social, but we also take care of the wealth creation. I also founded what we call Miramar International Foundation. We do climate resilient food production systems in Kenya, Zambia, and Ethiopia. We're in 3 countries. We work with all the major donors to make sure that people don't go hungry because there's no rain or we don't have fertile soil. That means Africa can feed itself. And that's been my biggest thing. I also founded a college, which is called Miramar International College, which is in Kikuyu. I never stay away from education. Once you've been around education. So I've been around education, wealth management at the central bank, environmental issues, and governance issues. So mine has been a whole circle of things, and I'm excited to be here, and it's good to see you guys. And what we bring back is a brain gain. We get drained when we go, we gain when we come back.
Feel free to appreciate him. A round of applause. And thank you for the service to your country. Go ahead, 30 seconds each.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Boniface Makori. Perhaps I'm the youngest in this panel. I am a returnee from the UK. I completed my master's. I left Kenya for a master's program funded fully by the Commonwealth Scholarship Program or Scholarship Commission. Worked and stayed there, studied, had opportunity to be the president of the international students at the university, but then again decided to come back. To come back because of the love that we all have for this country, as we've listened since morning. And that is particularly in the health sector. We noticed that there is a gap, as Bore just presented. If you are keen on the slides, you will have noticed that 74% of all diseases that we have are non-communicable diseases. And that is a problem that we all have. When we speak of Kenya alone, of all hospital admissions, you'll be surprised to know that 51% of them are non-communicable diseases. So we speak of diabetes, hypertension, cancer, and so on and so forth. So that problem is what made me to come back to Kenya. We had co-founded Stable Health Foundation back in 2017 when I was completing university together with Dr. Boniface Onsongo, who is around. And we have been doing great work in ensuring that we do not focus on treatment, but we focus on prevention. So that is what we've been doing, and we'll speak more to what we are doing as Stable Health Foundation in terms of health promotion, health education, wellness checkups, and so on and so forth.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Boniface. Two presidents there. I was also a student president, so 3 presidents on this table. Were you a president?
Not at all. I'd like to be one when I grow up. So good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name's Dr. Johnston Miheso. I'm a consultant obstetrician and gynecologist in Nairobi, currently in private practice, but I work as part-time lecturer at Aga Khan Hospital. I'm a returnee from the UK. I know a lot of us have never had a session like this, so I'd like to thank Chams Media most sincerely for having me today. Most of the time when we meet, we're meeting on labor ward or doing pap smears, and this is a very scary thing. And a few guys swear at us, but today we are smiling, and I like this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr.
All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Wamboi Gaitha. I run the Regal Africa Group, where we help our clients invest in real estate, and we also offer wealth advisory services. I am a diaspora returnee, so born and raised in Kenya, but I spent about 15 years in California, just like him, but I was in Los Angeles. And the last year I spent in San Francisco doing my MBA. And a lot of people always ask, why did you come home? And I keep saying, Africa is calling its children back home. Whether you were born on the continent, whether you're an African American, Africa needs us. So I totally believe in brain gain. The reason I left at the time when it was the Moi era, so we were all running away. But at the time I got our education, made some money, and knew that I could transform Africa using the knowledge that I had, using the treasures of the money that I made, and say that life is beyond just making money. After you've made money, you need impact. And I believe the story of Africa will be told by its children, whereby we'll see transformation through trade and investment. So it's my passion, it's why I came here, and I've always said the 3 demographics that would win to make sure that we have transformation in this world are the women of Africa, the youth of Africa, and the African diaspora. So I'm very excited to be here and to share more about the work that we do. The one thing I was just gonna say, I am a registered estate agent in Kenya. A lot of people don't know that for you to do the work of buy, selling, letting, and property management in Kenya, you have to be registered by the government of Kenya through the Estate Agents Registration Board. But typically, people in this country don't follow rules. And so everyone in this country is a broker. But because we want people to build wealth the right way, I will be talking more about working with professionals like registered estate agents, and also the work that I do as a private wealth advisor, whereby I work with you and your family organization to make the right decisions. There's so many investment options, but the question is, what do you invest in and why? So I'll be talking more about that. Thank you.
My name is Jacinta Irimonjoroge. I am a returnee from Sweden. I left this country when I was a young lady. I've lived about 49 years in Sweden, or rather around the world. I've worked both in Sweden, Zambia, Swaziland, then went back to Sweden. I think I fell in love with the snow, not with the country, but the snow. In Sweden, I've been working as a nurse. Mostly the last years I worked as a geriatric nurse. And most of people would think, okay, you work with the elder people. I think because I was old and I was seeing, okay, getting to that age, I'm over 70 years. And when I came back, before I came back to Kenya, I came back in late 1999, I came to Kenya. And of some reasons, I went visiting hospitals. I don't know what brought me to do that. But having worked in the Ministry of Health, you want to see what other people working in your ministry are doing in the country. And out of the blues, I found children left by parents who have passed on because that's when AIDS was so, it didn't have a cure or rather prevention. So kids were being left in the hospital. And that touched my heart. It broke me so much to see these small children being left behind. So of no parental reason, I decided, my daughter, who is now 35, told me, Mom, why don't we start a home for these kids? And I was like, I live abroad and I live here, but somehow it came to my mind I could help them. So year 2000, I came back, started a children's home. And I named it after my mother. It's called Phyllis Wambui Memorial Children's Home. And up to now, it's 25 years ago. And from that time, I've taken care of, I can call it more than 500 children.
Give a round of applause. 45 years away is not just a wink. That's a very, very long time. When President Kibaki took office, he made an impassioned plea and asked Kenyans to come back home, and build this country. President Ruto recently has been saying, we would like to create jobs locally and abroad. I would love to get our young people to explore the world and come back and build Kenya. Dr. Mwenja, should we be packing our bags to leave, or should we be packing our bags to come back? Should we, those who've never traveled, should they stay put here? What's your take, having seen that your experience spans many fields?
I think for me, it's a mixed bag. And I'll give you an example of Vietnam. I worked in Vietnamese government for quite a while when I was running one of the universities there as well. One of the things that they actually started doing, the program that we did, was to train for export. And we did that for like 10, 15 years. When you train for export, while at the same time expanding the economies locally so they can create jobs, we have enough young people who can work all over the world to get experiences and get exposure. We also have all these young people in this country that also cannot be able to go outside the country. So we need to expand both the local job creation mechanism so that more and more of our people are employed locally. And I'll give you an example. China, where China is today, is as a result of what you just asked. About 15, 20 years ago, more than 80% of the PhD students in STEM in American universities were Chinese. A lot of Chinese students. They send them. And then after they finish, they came back. And that's how China was able to take off the way it has taken off. Now, when it reached a certain critical mass, that was around 2005, the Chinese economy was about $6.7 trillion at that time. Then after that, they realized they need to get this huge middle class that's growing and double that middle class by deliberately investing in the local economies for expansion of the middle class. Unbeknownst to you, I am the one who wrote the bottom-up that Ruto used for the elections.
Oh, wow. Makofi kidogo.
It was written by myself and another professor called Professor Muruku, and we gave it to some of his people, and overnight they dropped the wheelbarrow and the bottom-up became the mantra. And the whole idea is you create jobs at the bottom, you take as many people to the middle as possible, you expand the middle class. By expanding the middle class, you're bringing more people in the tax-paying bracket. That is the 70 million Americans in the baby boom generation that grew up the American economy. Once we've done that, Chinese realized that's what they needed to do, which is what Africa needs to do. And that's why when I listen to all these diaspora returnees, they have all these fantastic ideas about creating jobs and creating things. We have to start creating stuff in order for us to expand. China expanded at a rate where by 2015, the economy was 13.3 trillion. They doubled the economy in 10 years because of focusing on the creation of a larger middle class, impacting on job creation in the country, and also exporting the Chinese capital, which you see now in all these countries, and that money going back to China, and they're buying all these things from China to come and do all these investments that they are doing. So that's a recipe that has worked.
Yep.
So we need people to go out. We also need the government and our people and all of you here to create jobs so that we absorb as many people as possible in the what we call economic citizenship.
Professor is keeping us in the middle. He's saying you can go, but you come back. I'll throw it to the other end. I would like to deal with extreme ends and check. He speaks and you wonder all that knowledge in one mind, in one brain. And I listened to you 45 years out there, many different countries. Is it all easy? You know, sometimes we remain in Kenya here and we always imagine. I remember as a young boy always thinking, I want to fly out. Is it all easy or is it sweat and blood? How do you get there?
Thank you very much for that. Going abroad, everyone thinks it's a dream. I'll tell you people, it's not a dream. When I first arrived in Sweden, the first thing I got was a shock. I arrived in February 76, and everywhere was snow. And to me, I've never seen snow. I read it in school, but I didn't know what it was, so I thought it was salt. And I was so excited in the morning when I landed. I wanted to feel this salt. These people are so rich, only to find out it was not. It was cold. The second shock I got is when I was going to get the train, because there was no other means of transport. And the first person I asked in my English, my broken Kenyan English, "Excuse me, sir, could you show me the train station?" And everyone was like, "Ingen engelska." No no English. Because everybody spoke Swedish. I couldn't hear the news, I couldn't read the newspaper, and I couldn't talk to anybody. So you are like dumb when you're going around. And then I was shown where to go to school. I got lost one day when going to school. And I didn't know where to go. The first person I saw was a policeman. So I told this policeman. I gave the address because I knew they couldn't speak English. So I showed my card. This is where I'm staying. And this policeman, they looked at me, they think, this one can't be leaving that address because this was an area for the rich Swedes. But funny enough, they put me in the car, they took me to the address where I was staying, and they waited outside to see if I could really open that door, to see if I was really going home. And when I opened and got inside, they were like, "Oh, she lives there." So they had to go back. The third problem I had, every morning I had to get a shovel and clean the snow to be able to go out. Here I'm used to sunshine. When you get out of the house, it's sunshine. You go, you put your turkeys or your slippers, you go to wherever you're going. There you have to be dressed, so many coats, plus you have to shovel.
You can imagine Africa, we always have almost the whole year to work. You can work January to January. Most of these countries, they have a very limited window to work because sometimes winter is so harsh and they are not able to work. Daktari, what are some of the key ingredients that while you are out there, you are able to build up and now they work better for you now that you are back here? What are some key 3 things that you picked up being abroad that are working for you in your, in Aga Khan or in your life generally?
For me, the short answer to whether it's brain gain or brain drain is actually clear. I've listened to everybody who has spoken today, and I think it's clearly brain gain. One of the things about me when I went outside the country, I had no doubt in my mind that I wanted to come back, and I wanted to pick special skills that are not available here. So my story started with after internship, and I wanted to do postgraduate, and you can't get postgraduate in Kenya unless you have worked for 3 years, unless that course is not offered locally, and I knew about the training locally. So actually went against the grain to look for postgraduate training. The topmost thing that I gained was actually just the skills that were not available here. You saw on the program that I'm a urogynecologist. That's a specialist in pelvic floor and bladder problems, and I was the pioneer returnee with those skills. So I feel I've had an impact because I've trained specialists who have gone outside and training and treating our ladies, and they look after my wife, my auntie when they get older. But I like one of the speakers earlier on who talked about the soft skills, integrity, just simple things about life that you don't find locally. I really want everybody to have a chance to see how other systems work and maybe transfer those skills back home, as Professor said. Just the fact that something that used to make me appreciate society, when a pregnant lady walks into a bus and you're sitting down, you actually stand up to let her sit down. Simple things. I think I can't explain more than that.
Wow, that's really good. A lot of diaspora returnees complain, even traffic. We are not very good to let anyone pass. We fight on the road. Daktari, next to Daktari, he's brought us there. Continue that conversation a little further. When you come back, you set up a business. So what positioned you, what made you ready to set up that business after returning home? And what are some of the challenges you faced before I come to you to extend that conversation?
Thank you so much, Mr. Wenger. When you come home, how do you start? What are the challenges that you face? One of the challenges that we have as a country is lack of proper systems. And I think as diasporians and returning diasporians, we will all agree that systems here in Kenya are not the same as systems out there. We are used to things working, the transport system working, the healthcare system working, everything working. But then you come home, all of a sudden, you come back to what is not working. So that is one of the challenges that when setting up a business, you face. And I think you need to perhaps grow a thick skin and just pursue what your mind is telling you to do back in the country. Number 2 is when you have set your mind that you want to do something, especially maybe we are in the health sector with Daktari, you realize that you need partners. And you can't do this alone. For example, in Stable Health Foundation, we don't work alone. We work with Equity Afia, we work with the Karen Hospital, we work with CareCall. You need partners. So what will make you successful when you're coming back home? What are the roots? What are the networks that you established while you were still in the country and while you were out there? That is what will make you successful.
Yeah, thank you, Daktari. I come to you now, picking up that linear thought. Mm-hmm. African countries continue to grow because he's come, he set up a business, there are some challenges here and there. But when you look at Africa, there are more than 10 countries with a growth rate of more than 6% on the GDP per year. This is unheard of in Europe and America. Those countries grew stagnant eons back. And you are advising people on wealth creation. Where can we create wealth? Is Africa positioned to create wealth for us, or should we be boarding planes back to the West and to Europe?
That's a good question, and I'm asked about it all the time. I think if you want to create wealth in the next decades, you should be in Africa. Everyone is coming to Africa. In the US, like I mentioned before, I was a banker, and I worked for Bank of America, which is one of the largest banks in the world. And those are some of the reasons I came back home, because it's about following the money, following the opportunities. If you see the smart minds of the world are coming to Africa, and we're busy running away, we're not on the same level. We're not thinking the same. Now, for me, of course, because I lived in the diaspora, I understand why we should send, or the opportunities that are out there. But I think it's quite different when you're going for opportunities where you can learn, experience, and come back home. The conversation that we've been seeing, and I see this with government, don't mind me, is we're sending our children out there for just anything and nothing to come back home. In fact, when I was doing my MBA, I looked at the statistics at that time. About 50-60% of MBA students in the US were Asians. About 30-40 were Europeans. And only 2-3% were African Americans or blacks. MBA students, business leaders are the ones who run this world, right? Even government deals with business leaders. So we are not positioning ourselves, we are not doing the right thing. So 2 things I would like to add about that. One is you have to study and know what's going on in the world and understand why they're coming home. If they're coming to Africa, which is home, look at what they're doing, right? So for us, we've noticed, we say there are 2 things we're talking about. No, 3 things. One, you need to be in trade. Like I mentioned about, I think the opportunity to transform Africa is through trade and investments. We have an opportunity of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, right? So even when we're looking about exporting things, right, we need to think beyond Kenya, we need to think beyond East Africa, we need to think about Africa. Right now, for me who knew this US and studied it, AGOA is no longer there. So trying to export to the US, trying to export to Europe, those things are challenging, but the opportunity is Africa. So I think for us, we need to think, what are the opportunities here? Even if you go out there, you can go out there, but make sure that you are finding the opportunity here. The last thing, and I know I don't have too much time, is this. One of the things that I noticed that is a problem with Africa, and I've been trying to change it, and I'm very happy that Chams Media is doing, and also Wakesho. The image of Africa, the stories we tell, the narratives. Growing up, we're all told to get out of Africa. And as we're getting out of Africa, the rest of the world is coming here. We need to change the narrative. We need to share great stories, and that is how we're going to make money. And yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I keep saying feel free to clap when someone drops nuggets. Yeah? Interesting that you are very engaged at very high levels in this country. Do you suggest that government is missing critical opportunities to engage with these people sat here? Because the ideas in this room, I think, will give Central Bank of Kenya a run for their money. Just, we are used to currency, but the brain and mental currency that we possess as people who've come back from the diaspora will be very useful in even running the legal system. Law is law. I mean, I lived in the UK 7 years. I never once saw anyone bribe a police. Do you know how powerful that is? That the police equalizes me and the prime minister. Once the prime minister's car was clamped, and it was on the news, are there critical opportunities for governments in Africa to harness the power of the diaspora and make it a brain gain rather than a brain drain?
I'll give you an example. South Korea. In 1967, the president of South Korea, President Park, realized that Korea will not be able to grow and develop with all these fantastic brains in Europe, in Japan, and America. deliberately, he did what we call a reverse brain drain program, where he went across the entire of Europe and America and encouraged all the professionals in South Korea, come back and let's build South Korea together. You hear Kenyans and others saying in the 60s, Korea and Kenya were the same at the same level. But what changed is the mindset. There is nothing magical about development. It's all about changing the mindset and getting a focus on delivering on job creation and employment. Now, the Koreans told the president, President Park, now, he went to Yale, he went to all the Ivy League schools. They told them, now, I'm at Yale, I'm at MIT, but we don't have an MIT in South Korea. What am I going to do? He told them, now, we are going to put the necessary structures to allow you to bring back your expertise so that you can cross-fertilize your ideas with the native Korean ideas and grow the country. That's how Korea Institute of Technology was born. It took 20 years for Korea to become a developed country by mid-1980s. Now, it is possible for Africa. We just have to embrace the diversity of thought, the creativity of our people, and get the mass movement of people from the lower class to the middle class through very, very, very pointed investments. In the US, just 1 minute, in the US, the Small Business Administration has helped to make America what America is today. And I keep on saying the people who have grown America is not the Walmarts and those guys and big guys that have 100,000 employees. No, it is the little guy who has 10, 15 people, and all of those came from the communities, the community colleges. And that's why we say the A students will work for the C and D students. The B students will work for government, because who needs a lawyer? Is a business owner.
Thank you.
Who is the most likely to become a business owner? Is the guy who went to community college and they are ready to get their hands dirty. So we need to figure out how do we move this population from here to the middle so that they can create jobs.
Professor is so eloquent, stopping him feels like self-harm. You know, I just want to listen to him. I don't know. Alex, next time give us 2 hours. You gave the juicy part to the last end. And I don't even know how to conclude this because I wanted to hear more from this panel up here. I feel very pained when we are celebrating China Square opening all over. Then you go cooking boards, toothpicks. You know, that is the real brain drain. You know, that a country with professors of this caliber that we are importing from. This is the Italian suits. We go eat pizzas. We need to go like Nigeria. We should wear African attire like professor so that grandmother at home, has something. The real brain drain is happening locally within our own eyes because we are consuming everything imported while killing local industries. And that is my take, that is a real brain drain. I will allow everyone 10 seconds. What one thing will you do to change, the outcomes of our country if you were given the chance? One thing that you've learned abroad that you can share with these guys here, and they can go home and say, I learned this from Dr. Miheso. One thing.
Should I start?
Yeah.
Thank you.
10 seconds.
Health systems need to improve. We are in the health sector, and if we are to improve the health of people, we need our health systems to work. And that is what we do at Stable Health Foundation. We want to ensure that health systems are working. We want to ensure that since health is individualized, health is not a corporate thing.
Yep.
My health is my
wealth.
Health, my wealth.
Thank you.
And it is mine personally. So let health systems work and we will all be wealthy to make money and bring the money back
and
home.
pay taxes to KRA there somewhere.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
For me, I think politics has messed up this country. We have all these brains, but we are not going anywhere because we have no platform to change the country. I don't know whether this can change in a minute, but Professor gave the wrong people the nice
document.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's not the. That's politics. We can't speak too much. One thing you can
One
bring
thing.
back and share with them.
The last thing I want to say is really that if we are going to build wealth on in this country or on this continent, we have to think as a collective. Nobody grows alone. And we're Africans. We understand the collective power of one another, but we have to do it in a structured manner. So think about collective investment schemes. Think about joint ventures and collective investment. And the last thing, with everything that you do, it's not only about money. Give back. Be an angel investor. Think business. No one grows alone. We do it as a collective. Thank you.
What I would like to change in this country, if I had the chance, is how we take care of our children. I know all of you here, you are either mothers or fathers or uncles or aunties. But look at your background. Have you ever seen a child who is loitering around, dirty, not eating or not going to school? Ask yourself that question. Why? What do we call those children? Chokora. There is no child who is called chokora or motherless. Every child has a father or a mother. Well, if you go to the streets of Nairobi in the middle of the night, go to the bus stops, you will see a small child selling sweets, 5-year-old. Why? And somewhere there is a mother behind, not a father. And I'm not accusing the fathers. You're all very good. But there's a mother behind sending that child to look for something to eat. That child does not go to school. What are we creating? A generation of brainless. These kids, they would like to go to school. They are very intelligent, but don't have a chance. And that's one reason I built Fidesz Wambui Memorial Children's Home, to educate our children. Today I'm educating more than 133. Not a single help from the government.
Thank you.
I have KRA, Safaricom, Lions Nakuru, ABSA Nakuru West. Those are the few people, and the churches. What about you people? What are you doing? Take one child, educate a child.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Alex, I would love to challenge Chams Media kindly. Let's organize a day. Everyone here, we go visit this lovely lady and join her in the good work she's doing.
Thank you.
On behalf of the panel.
I have my 10 seconds.
Oh, you have your 10 seconds. Alex, now give us 20 seconds, Alex.
20 seconds.
10 for you, 10 for me.
Thank you. We have 3 constants in life, and we get this right, we will get this country and this continent right. Number 1, healthcare. I have been a CEO of the 3rd largest private hospital in this country, and I know the issues of healthcare. We fix healthcare, we start fixing our people. Number 2, agriculture. We feed our people, we start having a healthy, well-fed population that's creative. Number 3, education. We get that right, we'll get a lot of other things right. All these other things that surround that ecosystem, they're auxiliary services to a healthy and a well-fed group of citizens, and this country can go places.
Thank you very much. I really hope that your brain has gained from this panel, and that you will tell a friend to tell a friend that this country needs all the voices, all the hands on deck. Our friends, our white brothers are running towards Africa. No one wants to invest in the West. The biggest investment people right now in Africa, even their pension funds, are investing in Africa. But we are telling Africans to go to ships and swim across valleys with crocodiles to go to a country. Trump doesn't want us there. Europe doesn't want us there. It is time we start creating opportunities in Africa by getting good leadership in positions and fighting corruptions. If we sort the 3 issues he's informed us about, then we sort leadership and how we choose that leadership. Africa has the biggest, and I know we keep saying this, it's a feel-good statement, but those of you who've traveled abroad and have come back, you know that Africa was God's last born, imbued with everything, from the flora and fauna to the big 5. We earn billions of dollars just because we have lions. Did you place them there? No other continent earns money for just being. Africa is the leading continent in earning from tourism, especially from things God gave us. So let's work on our leadership, let's work on our education, and we have a beautiful continent and country called Kenya that we can all thrive. There is enough for everyone's need, not for everyone's greed. From the panel and I, thank you very much for listening to us.
I have asked for just 30 seconds from him because of what this brother just said. Europe is going through deindustrialization. Note that. It's going through what? Deindustrialization. Factories are closing in Germany and other countries because they are operating under capacity. Right now, I'm working with German companies that want to come and relocate their productive capacity here. The same thing that the US did with maquiladoras in Mexico, and then they moved to China. Europe is looking for places to take their production and productive capacity. If you have connections, let's all get together and see how we can bring some of these industries here, and we start producing here for this country, for this continent, and for this market.